I'm Jenny. This morning, we're bringing you a longer programme to celebrate 50 years of Newsround.
We look at the history of the programme
and find out what's new for Newsround.
Hello again. On the 4th of April 1972, the BBC launched a new service just for you. Originally called John Craven's Newsround, it was the first of its kind.
Yes, over the years we've covered the biggest stories from right here in the UK and all around the world.
Today on Newsround, we're having a look back at the past.
And we'll be looking to the future too. See if you can spot any of the old Newsround presenters in this.
This is BBC One. And now it's time for John Craven's Newsround. Hello again.
Hello again.
Hello.
This is Newsround.
We'll be taking you through all the day's top stories.
It means today will go down in history.
Here's what's going on in the world today.
Well, Newsround started off as a little experiment, really.
We stood up. We didn't have a desk to shuffle papers on.
Welcome to a very special Newsround.
We dressed in a more relaxed style.
How can a man read the BBC News in a jumper? A cartoon poster launched around the world has just been hit by a new eruption, quite easily.
We don't follow the rule book when it comes to news. We don't follow what the grown-ups are doing.
The government have announced big changes, meaning that most of you won't be going to school next week.
Newsround was the first news programme that gave children a voice.
As politicians keep saying, children are the future, but we're here now.
Never, ever, ever underestimate children.
It's kind of fallen on the kids to take care of this one. We are relentless. We do not let things go.
They get something from us which they don't get anywhere else.
It's important that people take children seriously.
I think everyone else has followed, and Newsround were trailblazers.
Just because we're a children's news programme doesn't mean that we don't talk about the real events that are happening in this world.
Because if you don't start explaining the world with truth and honesty to children at a very young age, when are they going to start?
Today we're going to hear about George Floyd and why his death has caused such a huge reaction around the world.
It's important that children hear about difficult, complex stories because they're going to hear about them anyway.
One of the most terrible events in American history. 3.5 hours ago, two of the United States' biggest cities were hit by massive terrorist explosions. Two passenger planes.
And I dread to think of a world where you're that young and you're hearing stuff all around you, but you don't have a trusted place that you can go to.
And unfortunately, some of those stories affect children far more than they do adults.
Late last night, there was a terror attack at an Ariana Grande concert behind me at the Manchester Arena.
For us, it was important to talk to children who were involved because that was the best way of explaining the story, giving children a voice over what was a very important area of their lives.
I was disgusted. I don't want anything like this to happen again.
I just think if they're trying to scare us, then we should show them that we're not scared and we shouldn't let them.
I think it's hugely important that the children of Britain understand what's happening to other children, maybe like them or maybe totally unlike them in their circumstances, all over the world.
The way of life here is so very different from anything that we know. Everywhere, the contrasts are enormous.
And you don't see those kids talk really anywhere else.
I heard the stories of 3 young boys, all aged 14, who'd made the secret voyage from Vietnam.
Golshar's family also have nothing left to sell. In desperation, her father has engaged her to be married.
In a split second, I saw rainbow-colored rays everywhere. That was the moment the bomb exploded.
I don't believe we are stripping away the innocence of children at all, but instead, we're walking with them and helping them to understand the world.
We are, as a world, going to be suffering from worldwide famine.
Fame has made the presence of the poor very much known. gun crime is a growing problem and one that more and more of you are growing up with.
I was shot by the Taliban for the reason of going to school and for my campaign.
Children are interested in the world, and it's our duty to bring them the news.
Voting in the Newsround election has already begun.
The UK has decided to vote to leave the European Union.
In the last few minutes, it's been confirmed that Donald Trump is going to be the next president of the USA.
This week, some major businesses have got into big trouble because of something called the credit crunch.
Every Prime Minister has talked to Newsround.
Do you feel that you've done enough for the younger generation?
How can you reassure people my age that there's going to be jobs when we leave school?
If you could pick one politician apart from yourself to win, who would it be and why?
Wow. It's really nonsense to say that children aren't interested in politics, and that's why Newsround has always covered it.
The House of Commons reenacted in a school hall to show pupils the time-honoured way in which Parliament works.
How can you claim to be concerned about the environment when you wish to keep nuclear weapons?
Some people have got their say, and if they don't, then the country's not going to get anywhere.
If he's not going to listen to his own rules, why even enforce them on the people?
I'm as much in the dark as you are.
We encouraged young children to care about the world around them.
And is there a danger, do you think, that the panda could well be extinct?
It's a possibility.
You know, we were obsessed with the environment long before adult news.
Newsround Extra has come to India to report on the amazing success in the campaign to save the tiger.
Scientists studying the world's weather say that the Earth's climate is definitely changing.
Temperature in this part of the world has gone up 3 degrees centigrade in the last 50 years.
We've seen that young kids are at the forefront of anything to do with campaigns around saving our planet.
It makes us feel like that what we do actually matters.
But in Newsround, you know it's what really matters, and it's what really matters to you.
If you're talking about stuff in the playground, then we need to be talking about it on Newsround.
At playgrounds up and down the country, just about everybody's using yo-yos.
Nigel, how do you like computers?
It's much better than being taught by a bossy teacher.
You thought your MP3 player was just for listening to music on? Well, think again.
Every few minutes, an electronic sound indicates something is wrong.
So good at this game. I can do it with my eyes closed.
Here, it wants to be played with.
We also sprinkle a little bit of entertainment news in there as well.
And that's little Kim, who's presenting tonight's show, who's just arrived.
Going on red carpets, interviewing celebrities.
Leah's down in London for us at the ceremony. What can you tell us, Leah?
Well, the party is in full swing.
We recently went to meet Little Mix.
I love it!
And outside already are hundreds of fans.
T-Rex.
Thank you.
Everyone thinks that we're friends, but I know nothing about them.
The makers of the new Harry Potter film are looking for children to play the 3 main roles.
I was watching Newsround and they told me I had an audition.
The Spice Girls have come a long way since Newsround first filmed with them last June.
The eccentric, mad girls from England.
Pop mania has come back to Britain, and most of the screaming has been for the Bay City Rollers.
They just got talent. How come you've got so much energy?
What's the secret?
We always had a bit of a laugh on Newsround because we didn't want to send the children away just hearing bad news. I decided one April Fool's Day that we would play a prank on the audience.
The historic hatching of the zoo's first panda egg.
Everybody believed it.
We do our own thing.
Last week's weirdest news stories. It's time for Strange, Stranger, Strangest. The world's biggest haggis has been cooked up by a chef in Glasgow.
Centerpiece at the party was a giant fish finger.
It's really important that we offer something which is fun and interesting, a fluffy animal who's done something funny.
A cat who's running from there.
And finally,
And finally, check this out.
Newsround's importance is greater than ever.
We live in an age where there's just so much content out there, and that information isn't always right.
Children can pick up all kinds of wrong information on the internet, on mobile phones.
What the presenters on Newsround tell you, you can believe.
East Germany amazed the world by suddenly saying that its people could leave whenever they wanted.
You can't say that about anything you see on TikTok or Snapchat or Instagram.
Everyone deserves to have a place that they can go to and feel safe and hear trusted news.
And the latest news on the Apollo 17 astronaut.
And the news broke.
There could be life on Mars.
Newsround is one of those programmes that when you turn it on, you'll know you're going to get the news that really matters and the news that you need to know about.
To answer the questions that kids want to ask.
And people can see what the children think will change.
You can trust Newsround.
Newsround, I think, will always matter.
Gives us some responsibility on the world.
Because guess what? News isn't just for grown-ups. News is for everybody.
It's because of children who watch it, it's because of you, and that's why we're still here.
And it is a huge satisfaction to me that it still plays this really important role in the life of our nation's children, that they listen to Newsround to get information they can trust.
And that's why we're here. That's why Newsround will always be here whenever you need us.
So many stories, so many memories. Now, Newsround has meant a lot to many people over the years.
It really has, hasn't it? And a few famous faces got in touch to wish us a happy birthday. Take a look.
Happy birthday, Newsround.
Thank you. Thank you for being my introduction to the news.
Let's make it 100 years. Congratulations. Happy birthday.
Happy 50th birthday, everybody on Newsround.
Thank you for sharing such wonderful news and keeping us all entertained over the years.
I know you're not an actual person, but I still hope you can eat some cake.
Well, some of you have been getting in touch online to leave your messages. Apple01 says, happy birthday, Newsround. You're way better than adult news. I love it.
Not wrong. Fairy Guinea Pig says, I've been watching your episodes since I was 5. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much for all of those. Now, we're always trying to make sure we give you the best opportunities to get involved. And to mark our birthday, we've got some exciting things to tell you about.
That's right. First up, after the Easter holidays, to make sure that as many of you can watch our content as possible, you'll be able to watch Newsround every weekday on our website with British Sign Language, or BSL, so that everyone is included.
Yeah, that's really good news. Also, we want to give you more chances to tell us your stories. Pressback is back. It's all about you being the reporter on the issues that you really care about.
It is, and we want you to send us your ideas. We'll help to bring some of them to our website and even to Newsround on TV. And you can find out loads more info on both of these things over on the Newsround website.
Yeah, I was desperate to be a pressback when I was a kid. Now, today is also the launch of our brand new Newsround special. It's called Let's Talk About Sexism.
CBBC presenter Lauren Layfield is here to investigate what sexism is, how it can affect us,
and now how it can change things for the better too. We've got a sneak peek of that programme. Let's take a look.
Sexism is everywhere, and we've all seen examples of it. It's discrimination against a person based on their gender, and it can have serious consequences for girls and boys. I'm Lauren Layfield, and I'm going to investigate why this nonsense is still happening and what we can do about it. So come on, let's talk about sexism.
My old school, there were a bunch of boys who used to go around and be like, why have you cut your hair short? You need to have long hair because you're a girl.
Why would a grown man put a comment on my social media telling me to go back in the kitchen?
And people actually say that.
Oh, yeah.
From the earliest point, boys wear blue, girls wear pink. What if you're a boy who wants to wear pink? Are you allowed to do that?
I felt a bit dismissed, like I'm not good enough to do maths because I'm a girl.
Who here drew their mechanic as a male?
When a woman steps forward and says, I want to be your MP, people find it much harder to accept that because of sexism.
Your feelings are entirely valid. If you're made to feel uncomfortable because of your sex or your gender, talk to someone.
You shouldn't have to change yourself as a girl or as a boy to be accepted.
Yeah, well, you can watch that special programme on CBBC tonight at 6 o'clock or on the iPlayer. And of course, it's also available online.
That's also where you'll find the Newsround birthday quiz. Yes. Give it a go. And to catch up on all of the day's other news, including this week's Happy News, make sure you're watching tomorrow morning, 7:45 a.m, for loads more info about Presspack 2.
Yeah, because Newsround is going nowhere. Have a great day. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
I hope you like
what was on Newsround. I didn't do writing today because basically all about all the past back at past Newsround stories and people and like say old stories like what like we never seen before. All that. Yeah. And I was doing like this, that because I actually watched it while recording as well. I watched it earlier and that stuff. So it's actually saying let's talk about sex and that as well. It's like gender, all that stuff. Like it'd be like a gender, girl, boy, all that stuff. And the people were called Ricky and Jenny, and they're going to. They also have their 15th birthday, having their 15th birthday as well. So yeah, yeah. So that's all for today. So I'll see you next video. Gonna be so I'll see you in the next video. And they're gonna put more news around, like things like around the world. Tomorrow morning this. And let me say one more thing. News are not for only adults, they're for everyone. So they need to know what's happening in the world, because COVID is still here, so they need to know what's happening around the world. Even this is better, and adult ones is up with war in Ukraine, that stuff. But we're in Poland now. But if you getting worried of the news, be sure to like you being worried, what's let me find it for you if I can. Yeah, I can't find it. Really. But if you getting worried of the news, it's okay. Don't be so nervous about it. So yeah, see you in the next video. Bye bye everyone. Yeah, bye bye everyone.